Hello, welcome to the Hard Folk Podcast. My name is Matt Gower. Today's guest is Gareth Auden-Hole, better known as Jack Pine. And it was nice to get him to kind of take a little break from just working on songwriting and like you said, developing just new sounds up in his little secluded cabin there. And don't forget, Gareth will be playing as Jack Pine, part of the CKCU Presents Friday Night Folk on March the 6th at the Art House Cafe. So make sure you get your tickets in advance and enjoy my talk with Jack Pine. I am here with Gareth Auden-Hole, also known and better known as people in the music industry, Jack Pine. So, Gareth, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now you look like you've got a pretty cozy setup behind you. Is this your home studio, or is this just a really nice cozy room?
No, this is my temporary home away from home studio.
I see.
At the moment. I'm up at White Lake, which is near Pakenham, about an hour and a bit from town, from Ottawa.
Okay.
And I have blocked out a month, most of this month, to I brought all my instruments up here and all my recording gear, and I'm just being creative and seeing what comes of it, basically.
So, is it more writing or writing and recording, a little bit of both?
I've been writing for some time, so I have a bunch of songs, and yeah, I came with all of them and slowly decided which ones I would try to record. I haven't actually written anything new while I've been here, but just focusing on more like sound creativity.
Interesting. And what goes into sound creativity? Tell me more about that.
Well, I brought a lot of instruments. I generally play acoustic guitar and mandolin, but I brought 2 electric guitars and a banjo and other instruments that I own but don't really play. Mm-hmm. And I brought all the pedals that I own, which I generally never use for my own music, at least.
Yeah.
And, drum machines and random percussion things, and there's a mandolin banjo over there. Never really played that thing.
so just kind of.
So it's just sort of like, what sounds can I make, and how do I make them sound cool and like different and new and interesting? Yeah,
that's neat because
just like a place for experimentation, time for that.
Yeah. Because I've normally just seen you with acoustic guitar or mandolin. I've never seen you plug in, I guess, with an electric guitar. So hopefully that won't you won't go Newport and alienate your audience.
Well, we'll see. See about that.
Exactly. Now I'm curious. I was reading up on your bio on your website. And first of all, is Jack Pine for you? Is that just your stage name, or do you embody a different persona when you get on stage as Jack Pine, or is Gareth and Jack just the same person?
That's a good question. I think it's mostly the same person. I mean, when I started playing music with Jack Pine and the Fire, it was interesting to see the reaction of people, because I especially was a very quiet, grew up super shy, not super outgoing. And so like when my friends and family saw me first performing with the band on stage and like dancing around and like, singing loudly into a microphone and stuff like that, they were like, who is this person? like it seemed to be completely out of character for me. But these days I wouldn't say there's a lot of difference. There's not like, okay, I'm going to act like Jack Pine now or anything like that. It's definitely just the way I act. Yeah.
Okay.
If there was, probably my stage banter would be less awkward and strange.
Was Jack Pine the first time you were really playing on stage before then? Because I didn't know much about you. Like we used to work together at the Folklore Center back in the day, and that's kind of the first time that I ever really met you. And I didn't really know much about you before then.
No, it wasn't the first time, but I wasn't doing it often. Like Jack Pine and the Fire grew out of a band I had called Slackjaw Sinners,
Hmm.
which was, you know, the same, a lot of the same characters. Jack Pine and the Fire was just a little
Hmm.
more developed
Hmm.
version of that, following the first recording. So that's when it sort of all came together. So yeah, and before that, I had played in you know, this bunch of stoners playing whatever music, all original music called 10,000 Creatures, back in university days. And that
Hmm.
was the first time that I performed in front of people. But it may like that CD release or whatever that we did at Irene's for that first album was like very successful. We'd been played on the radio like a ton,
Yeah.
so it was a sold out and like lineup down back then. There were lineups down the street at Irene's regularly, and so and yeah, all my closer friends and family were there, so it was kind of the first that they saw me performing in that way, and like you know, successfully also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was a bit more of an aggressive sound maybe than I had presented before, and yeah, like successfully also. It actually sounded good.
So like I can kind of relate to that because like yeah, my I don't think my parents have only ever seen me play once in a band. So like, did you enjoy the surprise that you saw on people's faces?
A little bit, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about my family, and like it was funny because half of them were like pretty wasted by the time I got to see them after.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it is a little bit of self-discovery, a little bit, I guess, as well.
Cool. Now I'm going to dig a little deeper into that bio because you say that Jack Pine is, you say here, and I'm going to quote you on your bio, a namesake whose fated destruction and rebirth is one of many inspirations that lead you to perform acoustic folk music. So, have you
Yeah.
experienced a similar destruction and rebirth in your own life?
I wouldn't say in quite as dramatic a way as that
Hmm. Hmm.
implies.
Hmm.
But I think if you're living life right, you should be doing that throughout your life in some ways, sort of. And it's in music in particular. I want to be reinventing, like not necessarily in huge, like crazy ways, but
Hmm.
like I think the second album with Jack Pine and the Fire was very different from the first album, and that was intentional in some ways and unintentional in other ways. And my songwriting, like I'm up here trying to record some stuff. I have no goals. I'm not like this is the first time I'm mentioning it publicly,
Oh
even.
wow.
Um, um, and that's to make a Jack Pine album and not Jack Pine and the Fire album. So it's kind of the first time I'm trying to make all the sounds myself,
Hmm.
which is why I brought so many instruments and experimenting in certain ways.
Hmm.
So that's sort of a rebirth, and part of it is that I feel like my songwriting has changed, and I didn't feel like all the songs writing really fit the vibe that I've always intended or like wanted with Jack Pine and the Fire.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
but also it's just kind of like a certain epic intensity that
Oh
I do
yeah,
try to bring in.
I
So that's what I get from those words.
Yeah, like at the end, like I think you go on to like kind of compare it to like Jack Pine to Phoenix Rising. So like you it is epic. It's big. It's big. And yeah, and I can see that you're definitely like experimenting and trying new things out there for sure. And that's it's great to be able to have little creative rebirths at all times. It's good. It's good for the music. It's good for the listeners. It's also just good for your brain in general. Now,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. How has your songwriting? You said your songwriting has changed, like I guess, since Jack Pine, and that's it's. We're getting close to 10 years now, like I guess. How has it changed over that time?
Well, we celebrated 10 years in 2022, so
Okay.
it's been like 13 years
Wow. Okay.
since the release of that first album.
Okay.
But so I mean, the thing with Jack Pine, like it has a sound. Jack Pine and the Fire, that is, it has a sound. Like I don't like them. I don't want people playing electric instruments. We make exception for pedal steel.
Sure.
I wanted it to be a kind of hard hitting folk band, string band with drums. With so not necessarily completely traditional, but like definitely drawing from that. And also a certain darkness to it. Like with that first album in particular, like there's not a lot of major chords, or certainly not major chord progressions. You know, I loved the A minor key. And so and sort of like, you know, at the time when we released that album, I remember, you know, someone was helping me with the marketing and like learning how to release an album.
Yeah.
And so they wrote the write up for that album and like a sort of a bio kind of thing at that time. And, you know, trying to find ways to talk about it in ways that didn't just sound like it's super dark and like depressing and angry or stuff like that. And I've had musicians, other musicians say like, yeah, it's really angry music. And I'm like, I'm not that angry, really. It's not that angry. Like I'm just commenting on the world, actually. Like these are just things that are happening in the world. I'm just, you know, writing poetry and music about it.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of have a similar aesthetic to our like your sound then and my sound now, which I'm calling it like the podcast hard folk, which is not necessarily about the loudness, but more about just the adherence to tradition and the subject matter as well, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And so now the newer songs, like I would never write a love song for Jack Pine and the Fire. I would write a breakup song maybe, but
Okay.
there's a couple of breakup songs. But you know, I decided that love was no longer a forbidden word, and certain like positive mentalities were not to be cast out, or maybe they should be cast out in a good way to the world. So actually, a lot of these songs, particularly the ones that I've been working on up here, are sort of like positive, like feel good songs, in a way that's very different from the way I think about Jack Pine and the Fire. And I'm not forbidding electric instruments either.
So it sounds like it's a very like creativity, obviously, and you know this. Like when you have the constraints, you can really like thrive in that creativity. But now you're kind of taking the opposite approach, where you're everything's open, everything you're inviting things in, and you're really being open to the creative process. So it's almost the opposite. I guess it is the opposite way of approaching songwriting and than you're used to.
Yeah, I mean, the songs were just happening sort of naturally. And I decided that it was okay to write songs like this, and that maybe it's okay to even play them in public or record them for that matter.
Yeah. Is it all solo from here on out, or are you have you burned down the fire?
The fire is within, I say. But no, I mean, Jack Pine, when we did that 10-year anniversary thing, I announced at the same time that Jack Pine and the Fire would be on hiatus.
Okay.
For an unforeseen future. So, yeah, it's just been me basically, and even before that, like we would play local shows and stuff like that. But like I think we did like 2 micro tours in all that time. Like maybe played 7 shows outside of the National Capital Region. So I mean that was part of the reason for that, because I had toured solo. and stuff like that. And some of the feedback I get is like, "Where's the band? Like, why aren't you playing with the band? We want to see why are you Jack Pine without the fire." And I'm like, "Well, that's just the way it is. What do you want from me?" and and so and also I've been developing that sound and like confidence in myself playing alone, and how to make that an interesting show in general. So like I didn't play for a long time. In the pandemic I sort of not stopped playing, but stopped my artist career. And so this past summer I went on tour solo again, and I had been thinking for a long time that the next album would be a solo album anyways. So,
And how does it feel being up on stage without the band behind you and surrounding you?
it's different and the same. It's certainly a different preparation. There's a lot more freedom in certain ways because you don't have to stick to the song structure.
Sure.
And so when I went on tour this past summer, I sort of I think a lot of like what I'd been doing in preparation was not necessarily practicing the songs so much as practicing playing freely. So like a lot of like I might have been playing new songs that some of which I maybe didn't even play on the tour, but were not fully developed, and therefore I'm sort of experimenting with different ways of performing them, or delivering them. And so just sort of like allowing myself to be loose in the performance of any song and practicing that sort of mindset, and I think a certain confidence also, so that when I did go out on tour and I'm playing songs I know, I still had a little bit of that, and there were certain spots in the show where I planned to do just whatever was happening. So they're sort of improvised. Like I'm not a jazz player or anything like that, so they're not super improvised. But there are places where I can do different things. Sometimes I'll try a little different thing right before the show and see if I can make it land.
That's
when
interesting.
there's a microphone in front of me.
Yeah, no, but like the word that you said before, confidence, having the confidence to be loose on stage is a really important skill. Like for me, like I still need the structure of having the song, everything be rehearsed, but to be able to get up there and be confident to be loose is a skill.
Yeah. Yeah. So like even some of these things I'm experimenting with, or like I tried to like I've always wanted to have some sort of percussion in the solo show. So I've tried the stomp thing, but then I'm like, like, yeah, I can stomp through a whole show, but it like, that's not the way that I move when I'm playing. Like when I'm playing, like my rhythm is like this, and now I have to be like this to like hit the stomp on the beat, as opposed to like my body usually moving sort of off the beat.
Sure.
Like it just doesn't work. And so I felt less free. Even like trying to play with a drum machine, it's just sort of strange.
So do
Like
you feel more comfortable as you feel more loose and more free then on stage?
Providing it's going well. I mean,
Yeah.
certainly in terms of the improvised sections, sometimes it's better than others.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lose the beat a little bit, and then I might feel briefly less confident. But sometimes you just have to like literally tell yourself, "Okay, time to move on. let's just do the next thing. Is what's happening next." So it doesn't matter. Like if I'm, for example, sometimes in the same way, I guess it's not exactly the same, but similar to like when I'm singing a song and I'm like sketching out because I can't remember what the next word is. like oh shit, what's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line? All that's happening in my head is the words "what's the next line," which are not
Hmm.
the next line. So like I eventually developed a habit of like when I'm like that, I literally say in my head, "Shut up and sing the line." And
Does it work?
often it works, yeah. Like unless I've like messed up the order of the song, like that's the worst for me. If I sing the wrong verse and then I try to go back and like just rearrange the verses live, that just messes me up. But often, yeah, just saying "shut up" and sing the next line, like it's there,
Mm-hmm.
and verse two, go.
I've heard a trick, and I've never really used this because it's difficult to do it when you're in the middle of like a verse in front of a microphone. But on for stage actors, one trick that they that I've heard that is useful is if you forget a line or maybe a song line, to just movement kind of maybe gets you out of your uncertainty and out of your head and just gets you back into the into like the focus of the song. But I like I said, I'm kind of usually stuck to the mic, so that never works so well for me. I can't move away from it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good trick too.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that you kind of took a step back from performing and everything. I know that you're doing a lot of producing. So that's sort of your day job, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, I'm sort of a audio and music jack of all trades.
Jack Pine of
Um,
all trades.
Jack Pine of all trades, yes. So I do some live sound, and I have the studio in Gatineau.
Hmm.
And now I'm starting to get it back into the artist thing, and I did that tour last summer, and I'll be planning some other touring for this summer.
Cool.
But yeah, that's I. The other good thing that happened during the pandemic is yeah, I stepped back from the artist thing, but I stepped forward into music and music related audio, particularly like turning down, quitting the job. I had an audio job at a church, and I
Mhm.
quit that, and I haven't done any like Joe Job AV gigs. So yeah, but the studio is the main concern and has been for the last couple of years.
Cool. And I'm curious as a producer, how you approach oh, there's my cat. How you how you approach like an album or a song when an artist brings it to you. What goes through your mind when you hear an artist like kind of demo a song for you?
I like to sort of interview the artists about the song quite
Oh
a
yeah?
bit, either in the studio or before, and like really talk about what the song is about and like what's the emotion of the song,
Hmm.
to see if any of that triggers some like sonic ideas as to how we can deliver it in different ways. Or yeah, I mean, there's other things that we talk about too in terms of what they want it to sound like or what they sounds they like, but yeah, I like to say that I do like song focused production. So part of that for me really is like diving in and like probably having a discussion with the artist about the song that maybe they've never even had,
Hmm.
which often inspires their performance of it also.
Sure. Now
Yeah,
as
like where does that come from in you? Like what made you write this song? Like beyond what you wrote, like a lot of my songs aren't necessarily from personal experiences, but they are from personal emotions that I assume are
yeah, yeah.
relatable, and it might be a fictional story that goes with it, but that comes from somewhere still, right?
Hmm. Yeah, like yeah, it doesn't come from nowhere. Now on the flip side, I'm curious about your own songwriting. Do you have a set process when you're writing a song, or how do you write a song? Take me through that.
I don't have a set process. One, or maybe I have multiple. I don't know. But one thing that's happened commonly is to just be writing lyrics in my head, like while I have like a very simple rhythm or meter in my head, sort
Hmm.
of, or like, and then there'll be one line and I'll just match that a bunch of times, and then I'll figure out the music after, or maybe often there is a melody, a basic melody, but sometimes it's a really boring one in my head. Or I'll play it and add music after, and I'm like, oh well, that actually sounds like that other song I just wrote also. Like maybe it's the same melody in my head. So that happens often. Uh, like I do have you know in my phone there's the notes app, and
Yeah.
I have a category, a folder for finished songs, lyrics, and another just full of, it says song shards. So they're just like just little bits of ideas. And it's pretty rare that I go back to them and actually flesh it out, unless I have like a full, like an idea of a song and I've just written down a few lines. Also, sometimes that will actually come to fruition. But usually, yeah, often, like I love particularly when it's just like a stream of conscious kind of thing, and I just suddenly write 3 or 4 verses or whatever like that, and often I have no idea what it's about. I'm just sort of writing words that are inspired by the previous words.
Yeah, yeah, it's like kind of building something. I do the same thing a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And then maybe I'll write a chorus, or not, or I'll just put it aside and come back to it some other time. I also have the audio notes, of course, which has a lot of like just like riff ideas. And again, it's I wouldn't say it's rare, but it's not frequent that I go like that a song comes out of that. Like I have way more of those things than I'll ever use.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of them will never become a song, even if
No.
they're even the good ones.
Yeah, yeah, no, like I think all musicians have a big jar full of song shards, a mosaic of song shards that just will
Hmm.
never be put together into a full song. So I was talking with Lefty last week, and he was we were having an interesting conversation about songwriting, and he was
Yeah.
saying how like he's not really kind of locked into the like just the theory of everything. Like just he'll just play chords and do what sounds right. So I'm just curious, what's your musical background as far as like do you use theory? Do you like are you just like in the same boat, like just playing chords and seeing what works?
Yeah, I'm not a theory guy. I'm often intimidated by like when by the session guys that come into the studio and they're all like talking theory and like, yeah, I'm just like trying to express in ways that they'll understand, or that will relate to their theory brain, so that they can deliver whatever adjustment it is that I'm trying to get them to do or whatever. But no, I'm not a theory guy. I'm very much a feel guy. Um, like in the case of those session guys, like they'll talk about the 1 1 5 7 whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
1 4 5 whatever, or like the augmented minor, or I don't know. I don't even know these words. uh, I'm just like, nah, it sounds kind of dark or something, or like
It's minor or major.
I want to kind of warm it up or something, or
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
don't know. I use feeling words, and hope that they have both vocabularies often. But yeah, I'm very experimental, and I've always said, like, people always ask me if I would teach. If, like, teach me the mandolin or
Mm.
guitar or something like that, and I've always said, like, no, I would be a terrible teacher of music, because I'm just like the guy that's like, okay, well, you make the best with what you do know.
Yeah.
So, or what you feel, or whatever it is, the inspiration that you have in the moment. But I'm just like for guitar, like I just took One, it was a learn guitar in a day group workshop. So it was like, yeah, just a 1 day workshop. And probably at the end of that, I had four chords and a sheet with a bunch of chords on it.
Mhm.
And how to read the chords and how to make it happen. So I'm just like, if you only know three chords, then play those chords. There's lots you can do with three chords. There's lots you can do with four chords. If you get bored of playing only three chords, then look up that sheet with all the chords and find another one that you like and add that to the three, and then you've got four. And there's a lot you can do with four chords, and there's a lot of rhythm things you just do it. If you're enjoying yourself and you get tired of the things that then you'll learn something else. And I don't know. I'm
It's
just
it's
like, I don't want to tell you which things to learn. Just follow whatever. Follow your path, bro.
it's it. I think that's the title of the episode right there. Follow your path, bro. It sounds to me like you've got a very like similar mindset to like a Rick Rubin, like from both like as a producer and then into your songwriting as well, like where it's just all about like feel and all about just like kind of the personality more than the depth of the song and the songwriting than the actual like nuts and bolts of things, right?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah. I mean, does Rick Rubin even write songs?
No, he doesn't. I don't think he even really knew how to work the board to start with. I could be wrong on that, but I think he just kind of more works closely with the artist and then has like an engineer working the board for him.
Nowadays, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and I don't know what he did with like Beastie Boys when he started out, but yeah, like very much as you would just assume from his kind of overall aura, like a very like feeling kind of guy, you know?
he's definitely a holistic guy
Yes, yes.
these days, at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Now
leaning into that for sure.
another thing that I've been kind of talking with a bunch of artists. I talked with John Allaire about it earlier. I talked with Lefty about this too. I'm curious about your perspective, because you say you tour a lot, and what's it like just being based in, I guess, Gatineau, Ottawa, Gatineau area as having that as your home base in terms of playing locally versus touring? Like, is it hard to have like such a vast area as your home base? Like, and I know I used to live in Guelph, and that was a really good hub for going to different places because it was like, Southern Ontario and everything was nearby. But what's your feeling on that?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I tour a lot, but I don't know. Like my main touring route is between here and Winnipeg.
Yeah, yeah.
So like Northern Ontario is the area that I've toured most, or I should say North and Northwest Ontario.
Okay.
I always mess people up when I say Northern Ontario, and they're like, "Oh, North Bay," and I'm like, "No, what do you mean?
Thunder Bay, Thunder Bay.
It's not even north. That's like parallel. North Bay
Yeah.
is like parallel with us almost." Anyway, yeah, like Thunder Bay. Um, so that's a lot of driving.
Yes.
I went to Winnipeg and back last. Or Gimli is an hour north of Winnipeg. Was
Oh
the
wow.
furthest destination last summer, and that's the second time I've done that. And that's like 26 hours each way of driving.
Yeah. And a lot of nothing in
So
between too, right?
yeah, there's a lot of nothings. And that year I didn't even play anything. Actually, on the way back, I stopped in Sault Ste. Marie, which is 9 hours away from here.
Hmm.
But on the way up, it just so happened I got a festival in Nipigon, like at the start of the area at the time that I kind of carved out for touring time.
Hmm.
And so I didn't even tour North Bay, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie on the way up there. I started in Wawa, which is like 13 hours away or
Wow.
something, 12, 13 hours away. Um, so I'm not sure if any of this answers your question. like I haven't played Toronto or Montreal in many years at this point.
Is
Um,
Are you planning on getting out there, or do you like hitting up those kind of more remote areas?
I do like playing small rooms, small towns. It's I don't know, it's more satisfying to play a small room in a small town than to play a small room in Toronto or something.
Yeah, I suppose.
Drive to the big city and then
Yeah.
play in a small room where probably the people that are there are like within a certain smaller radius of Toronto.
Hmm.
They're probably not traveling a couple hours from the other side of Toronto.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a good point. Where like a small bar in Toronto has a much smaller footprint than a small bar in a smaller city. Like that is it's more kind of central to the culture of a city. That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense. Now
yeah.
we've got only 3 minutes left. Zoom actually will hang up on us in 3 minutes, so gotta end
Okay.
it soon. But yeah, like speaking of small bars, you're going to be playing alongside myself and Lefty McRighty, March the 6th, Friday Night Folk. That'll be a fun night. I'm really looking forward to hearing you play again, and yeah, like it's gonna be great.
Yeah, that's one of the smallest of bars in
It
in
is
Ottawa. Yeah,
pretty small,
one of.
one
Yeah,
of them. It's a small room, but they managed to pack a lot of people in. So folks, make sure to get your
yeah,
tickets early. It's important to buy your tickets in advance. Um, Gareth, thanks so much for joining me. It's nice to see you again. I think last time we saw each other was back in the fall at the folk conference. So hopefully we'll be
yeah.
seeing lots of each other down the road as part of the growing Ottawa scene, right?
Yes, of course, that'd be great. And looking forward to seeing you in a week or so, whenever that is.
I guess it's coming up soon.
Couple
All right.
weeks.
All right. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining me.
yeah. Great to see you, man.
All right. Thanks again to Gareth for joining me. Like I said, March the 6th, Art House Cafe, CKCU presents Friday Night Folk. Come and see a great show. It's going to be some really interesting voices at play here. So come on down. See you next time.